YHWH, give us the latest Bible prophecy news on the war in Iran, ancient Persia and Elam, and the start of the lesser day of the Lord. We bring this question to the text. The drawer opens with a clear moral axis in Proverbs chapter 14, verse 31. He that oppresses the poor blasphemes his maker, but he that honors him shows sacred favor to the needy. To crush the vulnerable is to reproach the one who fashioned them. The day of YHWH comes because the poor have been oppressed, and it comes against all who oppress them. The most direct evidence is Ezra chapter 2, verses 7 and 8, recording the children of Elam, 1254. The name of the nation has surfaced. This is not a vague echo. Ezra chapter 2, verses 9 and 10, continue the census roll, reinforcing return after judgment. The Father is counting Elam among his restored people. This aligns with the ancient prophecy promising to bring back the captives of Elam in the latter days. The drawer pulled the proof text of Elam's restoration into the inquiry about the war. The current conflict confirms this judgment pattern. The bow of Elam, interpreted as the missile arsenal and proxy network, has been severely degraded. The king and princes have been struck down, shaking the throne violently. The four winds have scattered the command structure, and the isles tremble in the day of this fall, just as Ezekiel chapter 26, verse 18 warns, as the isles in the sea are troubled at the departure and tremors spread. We see a typological pattern in this removal. 1 Chronicles chapter 10, verse 8 records that the Philistines came to strip the slain and found Saul and his sons fallen in Mount Gilboa. Saul was the anointed king rejected for disobedience, and his fall opened the way for what is true. When a regime crushes the poor, it mirrors this rejection. The crowds cry out, as recorded in Acts chapter 21, verse 36, and the displaced king fears the one who comes after, as seen in 1 Samuel chapter 18, verse 15. This brings us to the central question in Malachi chapter 3, verse 2. But who may endure the day of his coming? This answers with a question of endurance. The day of YHWH is a pressing reality demanding preparation. The drawer presents this day as possessing two faces, judgment and mercy, held in tension. Psalms chapter 99, verse 8 declares that YHWH was an Elohim that forgave them, though he took vengeance of their practices. The Father both judges and forgives. The path through this day is humility. 2 Chronicles chapter 12, verse 12 shows that when a leader humbled himself, the anger of YHWH turned from him so that he would not destroy him altogether. Humility turns away wrath. The apocalyptic layer reinforces this. Enoch chapter 90, verse 16 describes the Lord of the sheep taking the staff of his wrath, smiting the earth so it cleaves asunder, and hostile forces are swallowed up. Enoch chapter 89, verse 41 speaks of dogs and foxes and wild boars devouring the sheep until the Lord raised up a ram from their midst to lead them. The predators attack until the Father raises up a deliverer from within. Oppression is followed by the divine raising up of a leader. Revelation chapter 11, verse 5 confirms that fire issues out of the mouth of the witnesses and devours their enemies, showing vindication. Running alongside judgment is a powerful thread of peace. Deuteronomy chapter 20, verse 10 commands that when you come close to a city to fight, you must first proclaim peace unto it. Peace is offered before battle. Psalms chapter 29, verse 11 promises that YHWH will give strength to his people and bless his people with peace. James chapter 3, verse 18 reminds us that the fruit of covenant faithfulness is sown in peace by them that make peace. The Master in Matthew chapter 18, verse 27 was moved with compassion and set the slave free, forgiving the debt. Proverbs chapter 15, verse 8 assures us that the prayer of the upright is his delight. We must heed the warning against false certainty. Jeremiah chapter 28, verse 15 warns that YHWH has not sent you, but you make this people to covenant trust in a lie. 1 Corinthians chapter 2, verse 16 asks, who has known the mind of YHWH, that he may instruct him? The Father's mind is beyond full human comprehension. Psalms chapter 35, verse 11 warns that false witnesses did rise up and laid to my charge things that I knew not. The drawer cautions against misapplication. The spiritual condition is described in Jeremiah chapter 2, verse 13. The people have committed two wrongs. They have forsaken the fountain of living waters, and cut themselves out cisterns, broken cisterns that cannot hold water. The revolutionary ideologies cannot sustain. Yet Genesis chapter 41, verse 55 offers the remedy. When the land was hungry, the directive was given to go to Joseph and do what he says. In famine, the father provides a guide, and the directive is simple obedience. The draw points to appointed seasons for the father's house. 1 Kings chapter 6, verse 1 marks the precise timing when Solomon began to construct the temple of YHWH in the second month. 2 Chronicles chapter 8, verse 16 notes all work was prepared from the foundation until finished. Hebrews chapter 9, verses 3 and 4 describes the Holy of Holies, containing the Ark of the Covenant and the golden pot of manna. Ezekiel chapter 40, verse 42 details the tables for the whole consecrated burnt offering. Isaiah chapter 19, verse 19 prophesies an altar to YHWH in the center of Egypt, pointing to the Father establishing worship among the nations, including Elam. The deterministic verdict is a lean yes, probably affirmative. The probability of yes equals 98.8%. The probability of no equals 1.1%. This is a strong anomaly. All gates pass. The markers show 6.23 sigma, discovery level significance, as at least 5 sigma equals discovery. The false discovery rate Benjamini-Hochberg alpha equals 0.05 confirms. The triple convergence standard and guided draw E-value confirm. The text speaks with a unified voice. The war in ancient Elam aligns with the prophetic pattern. The bow is breaking, the king is destroyed, the four winds blow, and the isles tremble. Yet the draw does not end in destruction. The children of Elam are numbered among returning exiles. The dominant theme declares the Father's purpose for Elam is not annihilation, but restoration. The growing faithful remnant is the first fruits of that restoration. Regarding the lesser day of the Lord, Malachi chapter 3, verse 2 asks who can endure it. The draw frames this as a day of vengeance and forgiveness. It is a day when the Father breaks the bow but also proclaims peace. This preliminary judgment is underway, with greater consummation ahead. The word shortly in Romans chapter 16, verse 20 signals imminence, as the Elohim of peace will bruise Satan under your feet shortly. Covenantal favor is trending affirmative. The Father is clearing the ground for restoration. The oppression of the poor blasphemed the Maker, and the regime falls. But the way forward is humility. When a people humble themselves, the anger of YHWH turns from them. Hebrews chapter 10, verse 23 commands us to let us hold fast the profession of our faith without wavering. The day of his coming is near. Who may endure it? Those who honor the Maker by showing sacred favor to the needy. This is the direct and plain answer to the question. The lesser day of the Lord has begun in judgment, but its ultimate trajectory is restoration and peace for the humble. The verses drawn in this Shield 17.12 session were Proverbs chapter 14, verse 31, Luke chapter 7, verse 40, 2 Samuel chapter 3, verse 19, Deuteronomy chapter 20, verse 10, Genesis chapter 41, verse 55, Jeremiah chapter 2, verse 13. This concludes today's interpretation under the Shield Protocol.